Hello and welcome to our today's video. It's been a minute. Oh my god, it feels like it has been forever without a video. I've been so busy with issues here and there. Mambo yamekuwa mengi na muda ni mchache. That is what I can say. But I'm glad that I'm back, and I'm back to give you tutorials back to back like we used to do. And today we are starting with a very simple tutorial which involves a slipper. It is during the cold season and we need to keep warm, and so I just thought that we should take care of our feet, and so I'm using this combo. This is gray and this is mustard yellow, and this is all that we need for this tutorial. We need yarn. You can just have two or just one color, and then we have a tape measure and a crochet hook which is number 3.5 millimeters. So welcome and let's do this. So we're going to start with this yarn, or the yarn that you would like to start with, and we start by making a knot. I like using measurements rather than what do we call them, counting stitches, because our tensions are not usually the same, or even the size of yarn that you're using, the size of hook that you're using. So I think when we use measurements, they cover all of us. If your yarn is thick or thin, if we say 3 inches, whether you make your chain to be 20 and the other person makes it to be 25 stitches, it is going to measure the same inches. All right, so we are going to start with a chain that is 8 inches long. So the number of stitches does not matter here. All matters is the size of the chain. So we make a chain that is 8 inches long. We measure as we go. So let's check these, whether it's enough for us. Not yet. So we add more stitches. We keep checking if it's 8 inches long. And yeah, there we have it. So now from here we are going to be working single crochets going back. So we skip the first stitch, and to the next we are going to make a single crochet. Sorry for the background noise, it's during the day and I'm just nearby a road. So we make single crochets going back. Do not tighten your stitches so that it makes it easier for the next row. So now we crochet all the way back to the starting point, and I meet you on this side. So I'm at the end of this row and I make my last stitch, which is a single crochet. I chain one and turn my work. So with this color we are going to make 1 inch wide. This is what I'm talking about. This is 8 inches long, so we are going to make it going up. So we need to make this to be 1 inch wide. So now from here we are going to be making just normal single crochets. We have this chain one, which counts as our first stitch. We skip this first stitch, and to the next we make a single crochet. To the next we make a single crochet, just a normal one, and we single crochet all the way to the end. So now we crochet single crochets all the way to the end. When you get to the end, you chain one, turn your work, single crochet going back until you have your 1 inch sized up to this point. So now you go back. When you get to this point, you chain one, you turn, and then once you're done with those 2 rows, you can measure and check if it's enough for the size. So I'll see you when this is enough, that is 1 inch. I'm at the end of my 4th row, so these are 4 rows plus the starting chain, and I'm on the last stitch, and this is where we are now going to change the color. This is 1 inch. My 4 rows counts to 1 inch, which we wanted. So from this point, it's where we are going to switch the color, and just before we finish this stitch, the very last stitch of this color, we attach our second yarn, your preferred color of choice. So you finish that stitch with the new color and chain one, chain two and turn. Now you can cut this yarn and continue with the new color. So now we chain 2 and turn our work, and I want to hide this yarn here, or you can just leave it hanging so that we knot when we are done. So from here we're going to be doing our double crochets. So this is our first, this counts as our first double crochet. We skip this first chain, and to the second we make a double crochet, to the next double crochet, to the next one double crochet, and we double crochet all the way to the end of this row. Again, I insist, do not make your tension too tight, just a normal tension, and again not too loose. So we continue making double crochets to the end of the row, to the end of this row, and this is how it should look. So continue, and I meet you at the end of the row. And I'm at the end of the row, and I make my last double crochet here, chain 2 and turn my work. So again we continue with double crochets. We skip this first double crochet, to the second we make a double crochet, just a normal double crochet, another double crochet, and double crochet all the way to the end. And now with this color we are making double crochets. So now this is what we're going to do. We double crochet to the end. When you get to this point, chain 2, turn your work again going back, and you continue going 2 and 4, and you should have, with this color you should have 6 inches long. So from this point you should work until you get that length. So you continue until you have 6 inches length of the gray color. So now I see you at this point. So now I'm done doing my 6 inches from here to here. So now we need to do the very last part, which is a twin of what we started with, and so we need to change our yarn. So we do not finish the last stitch because that is where we are changing our next yarn. So now at this point I'm going to cut yarn, and I'm going to leave a good length so that we do not attach another yarn when we are doing our finishing. So we cut sorry, and we get our next yarn and attach. Chain 1. So remember we are doing double crochets on this part. We began with single crochets, so whatever we did down here we are going to do up here. So we chain 1 and turn our work and single crochet on the next stitch, single crochet on the next, and single crochet all the way to the end of this row. So you continue with single crochets, and I see you at the end of the row. We do our very last stitch here. We chain 1 and turn. So we started with 4 rows of single crochet here, and then 6 inches, which was 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 rows, and then again we are going to do 4, so it will be 4 12 and a 4. So again we do 4 rows of single crochet, and I see you when you're done with that. I'm doing my last row, the 4th row of the mustard. At the end of this row now, you should be having at the end of this row, the last row, you should have something like this, which is 8 by 8, should be like a square. This was 1 inch, 6 inches and 1 inch, that makes it to 8. And then if you can remember, we began with a chain of 8 inches, so it is an 8 by 8. So now once we come here, we cut our yarn and leave a long chain, enough to finish off the stitching. So now we have this, we need to stitch this up together. So we tie these ends together so that we do our finishing. We cut off the excess, and same to this other side, which I've already done. Cut the excess. So now this is what we do. We fold it like this, and now we get this yarn, thread our darning needle, and now we are going to stitch along here. Watch carefully. So we go picking stitches at the edge. So once you have all that, you are going to pull so that it comes together and form something like this. And now join these two ends from this part. So once we are done with that, we get to the next part. Thread our darning needle, and we also do the same. So we go picking stitches along the side. We cross to the other side and pick. And then pull so that it closes completely. So this is the front, this is the wrong side, and the right side. So you notice we've been working through the wrong side. So now we need also to stitch this other part. So for the front, you saw how we stitched. We were pulling to form that that shape. It is not straight, so you can see. But for this one now, we are going to join it straight. All right. So we are left with two parts, the side and the front here. So before we go to the side, we're going to join the front like up to this point. Remember, this is the front, so you need to check like past the middle or before you get to the middle at this point. So we join up to that point. So we do that very fast from the wrong side, remember. So we were working from the wrong side, we continue working from that side. So that's enough. Finish by making a knot, and that's all. So now we come to the other side and we do the same. Sorry. So we stitch along this side. This is the heel part. cut our yarn, and now we join this last part. So I joined this part of camera and everything is done. So now we turn to our right side, and here we have our slipper. Yeah, this will keep you warm in the house because of the cold floors. And this is it. Thank you so much for watching this. Remember to subscribe if you've not subscribed. Like this video, share with your friends and family, and remember to come back for more videos. Thank you so much, and goodbye for now.